The operational update regarding the Russian invasion on 6.00 on November 7, 2022. Glory to Ukraine. The 257th day of the heroic resistance of the Ukrainian people to a Russian military large-scale invasion continues. The enemy is trying to keep the temporarily captured territories, concentrating efforts on restraining the actions of the defense forces in certain areas. Conducts offensive actions in the Bakhmut, Avdiivka, and Novopavlivka directions. Over the past 24 hours, units of the defense forces have repelled attacks by occupiers in the areas of Yampil, Andriivka, Krasnohorivka, Maryinka, Pavlivka, Vodyane, Novomykhailivka in the Donetsk oblast, and Bilohorivka in the Luhansk oblast. During the past day, the enemy launched 4 missile and 24 airstrikes, carried out more than 55 MLRS attacks. Areas of 30 settlements in Zaporizhia, Donetsk, Luhansk, Mykolaiv, Sumy, and Kherson oblasts were hit by enemy attacks. The situation in the Vodyane and Pavlivka directions has not changed significantly. The enemy shelled in other directions, in the Seversky directions from mortars, barrel and jet artillery, in the areas of the settlements of High of the Chernihiv Oblast and Stukalivka, Popivka and Vorozhba of the Sumy Oblast. In addition, the occupiers used attack UAVs in the Slobozansky direction from tanks and the entire range of artillery in the areas of Novoselivsk, Myasozorivka, Vovchansk, Stelmakivka, Berestov, Ohertseve, and Stryleka settlements, and the Kupiansk and Lyman directions from artillery of various types, and the areas of Serebryanka, Nevsk, Makiivka, Bilohorivka, Ploshchenka, Spern and Vergnio-Kamiansk settlements, and the Bakhmut direction from tanks, mortars, barrel, and rocket. Artillery, in the areas of Andriivka, Soldar, Yakovlivka, Bakhmut, Bakhmutsk, Opatny, Maersk, Chasiv Yar, Klishchivka, and Zelenopilia settlements, and the Avdiivka direction from tanks and artillery of various calibers, and the areas of Avdiivka, Pervomaysk, Nevolsk, Maryinka, Novomykhailivka, Volodar, and Opatny settlements. In the Novopavlivsky and Zaporizhia directions from mortars, barrel, and jet artillery, in the areas of the settlements of Huliapol, Huliapilsk, Olhivsk, Doroznyanka, Novopil, Sherbaki, Novodanilivka, Vermivka, and Pavlivka, in the southern But region from tanks and artillery of various types, in the areas of Blahodan, Davidiv Brid, Ducheny, Mern, Nova Kamyanka, and Pravdine settlements. In addition, the enemy continued to conduct aerial reconnaissance, actively using UAVs. Made more than 20 flies. The Russian occupying forces continue to grossly violate the laws and customs of warfare against the civilian population. The search for subversive groups and fire adjusters continues in Kakhovka settlement of Kherson Oblast. Detainees are taken to Hornostavka and under torture beat out the shows. Similar measures are taking place in Borivsk and Shkedrishchiv settlements of the Luhansk Oblast, mass searches, seizing of mobile phones, kidnapping of people who are taken to an unknown destination. In Kherson, the occupiers, disguised in civilian clothes, occupy the premises of civilians and strengthen positions inside for conducting street battles. At the same time, Russian propagandist journalists are planning to shoot videos in the city on the topic of the alleged destruction of the civilian population by the defense forces of Ukraine. According to the updated information, the defeat of the enemy in the previous days has been confirmed. So, in the settlement of Horlivka, Donetsk Oblast, an attack was made on the area where the enemy's equipment was concentrated. 5 combat vehicles were destroyed, 4 more were damaged. In the area of the settlement of Maersk, the daily losses of the enemy are up to 30 people killed and more than 120 wounded of various degrees of severity. In the settlement of Lysychansk, a unit of the Akhmet battalion was damaged. The occupiers lost more than 30 killed and up to 15 wounded. The real number of dead is carefully concealed by the enemy. During the past day, the aviation of the defense forces of Ukraine struck the enemy 22 times. 20 areas of concentration of personnel, weapons, and military equipment, as well as 2 positions of the enemy's anti-aircraft defense equipment, were affected. Our air defense units shot down 5 enemy UAVs. Over the past day, soldiers of the Ukrainian missile forces and artillery hit 2, control points, 8 areas of concentration of manpower, weapons and military equipment, an ammunition depot, a radio-electronic warfare station, and other important military objects of the enemy. We support the armed forces. Together we will win. Glory to Ukraine!